Please welcome to the stage, Jewel Kim.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for having me. If you don't mind, I will get right into it. I tend to be no nonsense like that. So, I'm sitting on the couch in my living room. It's 1 o'clock in the morning, and we've been playing League of Legends for 3 hours. My brother John is sitting across from me. We're both on our laptops, and he's laughing and calling me a big fat noob because I've almost lost us the game. But as always, he swoops in and saves the day. The other team starts cursing at him, and he says, "Well, it's not my fault you suck so hard. You should delete your account. Just delete your computer while you're at it." John is 10 years older than me. I'm the youngest, he's the second youngest. Gaming is the thing that we do. It's our love language. John eventually ends up having kids. And I swear I don't know how he does it, but he somehow manages to hold a full-time job, be there with his family, his wife, his kids, and still get online almost every single night to play a game or two with me. Last summer, I'm not gaming. I'm sitting on a couch again, but this time I'm in the hospital room. And instead of my brother sitting across from me, he's in the bed in front of me. My niece and nephew's father, my brother, is in this hospital bed. I just spoke to him a week ago. My parents spoke to him 2 weeks before this. They hadn't spoken in 5 years. And this is the first time that my family is all in the same room together since my wedding in 2015. And we're here because he's not going to wake up. The feelings in that room are something that I have no words to describe to you. You can imagine this, right? We're losing him. We love him, and somehow we've never figured out how to be a family together while he was alive. And now we definitely haven't figured this out right now. My mom comes to me, she wants to talk to me. So we go out into the hallway, down the way, and we stop, and she turns to me and she asks, "Why did he stop talking to us?" And I have this moment of fucking rage. I have so many ways I could answer that question. And they're all technically true, they're correct. I want to say, are you kidding me right now? After the way you treated him? After what you said to him? After he asked if he could come to visit and you said, "No, don't come home." Seriously. I'm so angry because I know how hurt he was. So, as sad as it is, I want them to hurt too. I want them to know everything they did. So, I say all of it. Almost. I almost say it, but I don't. I barely stop myself. And the only reason that I didn't unleash hell on them in that moment, because it wasn't just my mom, it was also my brother and my father coming to me because they knew I was the closest one to him. I didn't do this because I've spent the last 6 years figuring out something that my family never taught me. See, most of my life, if I didn't like something or I was upset, whatever was in here came just straight out there. I did not care. And I always told myself, I'm just being honest. I'm being direct. I'm saying what everyone else is thinking. I'm doing you a favor. well, if you didn't like it, that was your problem, not mine. But the reality is as a communicator, it's like I was unpotty trained. So for much of my life, I grew up with my family telling me, you have no Nun-chi. And I'm like, what the hell is that? What's Nun-chi? And every time I asked them this, they would say, it's a thing. Oh my God, how do you not understand? And I'm like, thanks, that's super helpful. So you have expectations towards me, but you're not explaining any of this so I can understand. And so what Nun-chi is basically your ability to read the room. It's having that situational and that relational awareness of what others are thinking and feeling. Now, I think for Koreans and Croatians, we may share this in common. From what I've researched, your culture seems like it's a very high context culture. You're expected to read between the lines. Is this correct? Yeah? Okay. Now, when you grow up in a culture like yours and mine, and these sorts of norms, they're already embedded in the culture. You're raised to know this from a very early age. And I think that's what happened with my family. So why am I different? Why did I not understand this? In my family, I'm the only one born in the United States. Everyone else in my family were born in Korea. And they came over with my brother at his age, the next youngest one, he was around 12 or 13. And so your formative years already built into understanding this. But I didn't, right? I have much more Western values, more American values. And so that was one part of it. But the other part is I'm also autistic. If you don't understand what autism is, the way I like to explain this is that for social interactions, it's very much like I see the world in colors of black and white, shades of black and white, while the rest of you see full color. So as you can imagine, this makes it somewhat difficult for me, where I have committed lots of faux pas. It's been somewhat difficult to make friends because I was constantly pissing people off. And then you add to that what I just told you earlier, that I didn't give a flip. What I said, I was like, well, it's take it or leave it, right? So, and by the way, if I've offended any of you, I promise it has not been intentional. And also, I'm blind as a bat without my glasses, so sometimes you may literally wave at me and I'll just look at you because I don't see you, okay? So I apologize in advance, I swear. The offense is not intentional. Now, what I've come to understand through the course of my work as a coach, and if we look at the idea of this Nun-chi, for me, what it boils down to is there's a difference between what they say, what any person says, versus what they actually need. So for example, if my mom says where to buy a dish rack, I can just tell her. There's no stakes, right? The higher the stakes, the more you need to really focus on what it is they need versus just what they're saying. So again, for example, my mother asking me about John in the hospital, that's one of those times. She's asking me why did he not talk to us? And perhaps that's not the time to just answer the literal question. It's what is it she really needs in that moment? Now, through the work I've done in psychology as a coach, I've come to learn a few things, which I'm going to share with you today. Now, this has been adapted from cognitive behavioral psychology. And every single one of us will go through some version of this, what I call the reaction cycle here, okay? So you'll see something happening in front of you, then you'll think a certain thing about it. Maybe you tell yourself a story or an interpretation. You'll also feel an emotion. You will experience this emotion, you'll feel a certain way. And then these three things together will directly influence the words you express, but also how you receive words from others. And the way I like to describe this is that communication is a lot like food. So maybe I like pizza, maybe you like pizza, but just because we both like pizza does not mean we taste and experience pizza in the same way. You can give both of us the same exact slice of pizza, and maybe I think it's great, and you're like, it's missing a little something. Maybe the crust is kind of soggy. And that's how I view communication. It's not so much about centered on us, but really about the other person. And so one of the most interesting things I observe in all of my clients is that we walk around assuming that others see like we see. We think that people think like we think, or that they feel the same way as we feel. And that's just not true, especially if we're talking about people from other cultures. So everyone will experience all four of these ingredients pretty simultaneously. It's just a question of in what degree or what proportion, depending on who each person is. Now, what is also really fascinating to me is that whenever I work with people, what's the first question they ask me? They want to focus on the words. If they are in a tense or awkward situation, they want me to tell them literally what to say. So we have this tendency to focus on the words, but if you notice, that's just one ingredient. And we tend to ignore the other three ingredients right there. So for today, I think the name of the game for all of us here, myself included, is to correctly identify which of these ingredients is the one that really needs to be adjusted. Now, I know I've been speaking in the abstract for a while, so let me show you like a real life example that just happened a month ago. So earlier this week, I almost didn't make it here. This is a picture of my parents, and by the way, they would kill me if they knew that I was sharing this photo with you. But hey, what happens in Croatia stays in Croatia, okay? I won't tell if you don't. When Dunya invited me as a speaker, I'm super excited. So I call up my parents, and I'm like, Mom, guess what? I'm going to speak in Croatia. And she goes, I don't think you should go. It's dangerous. I'm like, what? Why? And she tells me, the war with Iran, duh. You shouldn't be traveling. And I swear, I have this moment like, oh my God, here we go again. So just for some context, my parents are the type of people, this is around when I'm 35 or so. I'm visiting them and I say, hey Dad, I'm gonna go to the grocery store. And he says, it's too late, don't go. I look outside, it's broad daylight. I look at my watch. I'm like, Dad, it's 4 o'clock in the afternoon. And he goes, I don't care, you go tomorrow. So they are the type of people who thinks that only bad things happen to people who go outside. So you can imagine, I'm not super happy about this, okay? And what has been my, not nightmare, but my constant headache over the last several months with my mom is this keeps coming up. She keeps telling me I should not come here. I'm like, oh my God. So what you're about to see is literally every single response I've tried with my mother. Now, if you had to guess, which one is the one that finally worked after, I'm not joking, 4 conversations on this topic, whether I should come here to be with you guys? C? Okay. How did you know it was C? Ah, who said that? Yes? Okay, perfect. What's your background in? Ah, cheater. Okay, so for anybody who didn't hear, she said you acknowledged them. And yes, this is one of the coaching tools of the trade, acknowledging and validating. So what ingredient did C address? Of the C, think emotion and words. Which ingredient? Emotion? Yeah? I hear some of you. The rest of you, are you confused or you just don't feel like saying it? Is it too obvious? Maybe it's too obvious. Yeah? Okay. What about A? Which ingredient does A address? I'm a little hard of hearing, so if you could shout it out. Yes. Quite on it, sir. Yeah, C. So the thing is about me, with the kind of person I am, I tend to lead with the facts, okay? As do a lot of men, which I honestly think is the reason why we have a lot of conflict between men and women, leading with the facts and not accurately identifying the emotion. And by the time the fourth time this conversation rolled around, I took a step back. And so as a coach, whenever I see the same issue keep popping up again and again with clients, that means the issue has not been resolved to their satisfaction, right? Not like rocket science. And so with my mom, I had to take a step back, and I'm like, Lord, help me if I have to have this conversation again. So then I'm like, what is going on with her? And suddenly it hits me. Of course she's worried, because she just lost a child 3 months before this. So in the full response I gave her, I was like, you're worried about me, aren't you? I know you just want me to be safe, right? Mom, can I just talk to you about this? Do you think we live near each other, you and me, Mom? And so just for reference, I live in Seattle, which is the top left corner of the United States. They live in Mobile, Alabama, the bottom right corner of the United States. I said, do you think you and I live close? Of course she says no. I said, you know what? Croatia and Iran are about the same distance apart. I don't hear a word about this again. Now, we're about to move into some scenarios, but just in case I don't have enough time, I thought I would let you guys pick, sort of like a choose your own adventure. How are we feeling, guys? Yeah? Okay. So the first choose your adventure option is we can work through the stolen idea, where someone steals your idea, presents it as theirs. The second option that we can also choose from is the angry client. Which one would you like to work on first? Stolen? Okay. Why do I feel like this is personal for everyone? Okay. So Sam and a colleague worked on a campaign together. Sam did most of the strategy. In the client meeting, the colleague then presents the work as theirs. So then, of course, Sam isn't happy about this. She's like, what the fuck? And she goes and talks to the person and says, hey, what you did was wrong, and you know what you did was wrong. Which of the ingredients is the biggest issue here? You would think, but it wasn't emotion. What's your next best guess? It is think. Yeah. I was a little surprised too. I just ran this scenario a week ago, and it was really interesting because even acknowledging, as a coach, which is one of the magic tools of the trade, is acknowledging and validating, which I'll get into a little bit later. Acknowledging that she felt hurt and betrayed by her so-called colleague who was on the same team, she didn't give a shit about. And it wasn't until she said this part about what you did was wrong and you know what you did was wrong. So when you hear someone say that, what does that tell you? An assumption? Yes. What else? If we extrapolate what she's saying, what is she really saying under the surface? Betrayal. There you go. Are you the one who said it? Intentional? Okay. Yes. She is basically saying, you had the intention to do this. You intended to screw me over. So for some people, like myself, we lead more with the head. The thoughts and the stories we tell ourselves is king. For others of us, the emotion rules first, right? It comes first. And that's when acknowledging and validating someone's emotions really works like a charm, okay? Any questions? How many of you have actually experienced this? Someone stealing credit for your work, taking credit? Yeah? I don't know if this room is being honest. I feel like it's probably happened to more than half of us, yeah? Okay. Here's the next scenario. The angry client. This was actually my angry client. Okay, so you have a client who isn't following your method and they're not putting in the work. So you finally ask, hey, what's keeping them from doing it? And the client gets super upset at you and she accuses you of wanting to make them feel small. Who's had the client who doesn't follow the method, who doesn't follow your process, and then blames you for it, for not getting the results? Yeah. Okay. So which is the biggest issue here? Yeah, this one's pretty obvious, yeah? Emotion. Now, if you had this client who reacted just like this, what would you say to them? I know Chris over here, he would say, you need to put on your big girl pants and get to work. What would you actually say to a client who does this, who gets mad at you for not doing their work? What was that? So you would say sorry. Very Canadian, yes. That is literally what I was thinking. My husband's Canadian too. Okay, come on. I cannot imagine the rest of you saying sorry. You're not listening. Great. Okay, what about you? Croatians, how would you handle this? Let's talk? Okay. Anybody else? Ask why. How would you phrase that? Why is kind of hard. Oh, okay. I think that might be going into dangerous territory, but very coach-like. Thank you.
I understand, but what's the next step? How can we approach?
I understand. What's the next step? I like this one. So for me, how I handled this client was, I hear what you're saying. And I also think that you know that I would never intentionally hurt you. But that does not mean that it may not have that impact. And for that, I'm deeply sorry. She went on to continue to work with me for the next 2 years. Okay, we are at scenario 3, and this is where I need an assistant. Who would like to come up on stage and join me? Who wants to have a little bit of fun? You need to be a little bit brave here. So, yes. Anybody else? Not very many people. Okay, you, and then. No, I do not trust you, man. No, I've already seen how this turned out with Mark. Oh, you're volunteering Mark. Okay. Actually, let's do Mark. Yeah? Yeah? Let's look at Mark. Okay, can I have? Okay. Thank you.
Finally, some fashion.
How much Korean do you know, sir? Okay. Oh, very good. Where's the bathroom? Okay, so can I ask you to put this on?
Yep.
Okay.
How do I do it? Okay.
I will give me the mic.
I'm socially awkward too.
No, I don't believe that for a second. Okay, this is where, yep, there you go. Okay, there you go.
Does it have sleeves?
Yes, it does have sleeves. Okay.
Oh,
There you go.
it's a tiger towel.
Okay, yes, thank you. So before we start anything, can I have your, how do I say this, your unbridled permission? Can you promise us to be fully honest?
Yes.
So we're gonna have the audience volunteer some responses for you, and I want you to react, like give us your honest reaction, okay?
Okay.
If you like what you're hearing, give us a heart. If you think it's just so-so, and if you don't like it, thumbs down, okay?
Okay, better look at it too. Okay.
Okay, so your friend buys this outfit to wear to a company party, and she asks you this, does this make me look fat? What do you say to this friend? Turn around.
Stop making everything sexy.
You're a lover? Practical? What do you say? Your friend says, does this make me look fat? What do you say? No?
Maybe try to put belt on.
Okay, let's go with that one. Maybe try to put a belt on. How do you like this
Now it
response?
makes me look fat.
How would you rate that response?
That's helpful.
Yeah?
I think that's helpful.
Is that-
Do a heart.
Yeah. Okay, you like it? Perfect. Okay, yes. Any other response? It hides your shape. What about that response?
It's helpful.
Okay. Okay, I need another style of response here. Who else? I feel like you're being very polite. Okay, what did you say? You look like what? You look like Big Mama. Okay, how do you feel about this?
That's really helpful. Because that was on my mind.
Okay.
Looking fat is the least of your problems.
Okay, do we have any other volunteers to have Mark's reaction?
If you like it, who cares how you look?
Like, I don't mind it. I feel patronized at the same time, though.
Oh, well, how come?
Well, because I want, like, if I look like a big mama, just say I look like a big mama. That's truthful. That's nice.
Okay. Oh, that's very kind. She said, maybe I can help you find something better. Okay, what about that one?
That seems a bit passive-aggressive, so...
How come?
Look, if you say I look like a big mama, maybe I can help you find something better. That's useful to me.
Okay, so you are Australian, yes?
Am I breaking your experiment?
No.
I am Australian, yes.
Yeah. So what do you notice about his communication standards? What did you say? He has none. Yeah, so what was that? He's very funny, yes, I agree. I think most of us can agree. Yeah, this is a little off topic, but we as countries, as cultures, we do preside on a communication spectrum. And Australia does tend towards more directness than people from the United States. Okay, so that's one reason for this. So this particular example is one of these things where there's many levels to this. So when you hear someone say, does this make me look fat? What's the first thing that you think of?
My Korean father-in-law telling me I looked fat one time.
Okay.
Didn't expect that, did ya?
No, I did not. I really need to vet my volunteers better. Okay. So
That's the only person who's ever told me I look fat. So that's where my mind went.
yeah, I feel like we had the same parents.
Yep. Might have.
You know, my mom is the type where I gain like 2 pounds. She's just like, oh, you're getting a little, did you gain weight? Your face is looking like a melon here. So it's like Asian moms, what can I say? Okay, so your friend tells you, does this make me look fat? Which of the ingredients do you think they're at? The one that needs adjusting. Is it a C problem, a think, emotion?
See and think and see and think. Think.
How come?
Well, it's an observation that's yet to be felt. I guess there's a shame feeling inside, which is also very Korean.
Yes, and that would also go with the culture. Thank you. Okay. Shame tends to fall into the emotion category. That would be the person where you know they have a history of feeling insecure about their weight, yeah? How do you know it's a C problem? Like more of just a seeing. Maybe in the case of me asking someone, I really need you to just tell me if this makes me look fat so I can make the best impression in Croatia, right? That's me with my friend and this skirt. Like I feel like a stuffed sausage, but you say I look okay. Okay, cool. Okay, what about think? What's an example of how you would know it's really more of a thinking problem? Do you have an idea?
That I think I look like a big mama?
Yeah, that could work. Yeah. But anybody else, you got any other examples? How would you know you have a thinking problem here? What was that? He overthinks, yes, yeah. If the person you know has a history of overthinking everything, then that is probably a good indicator. So a thinking problem is when they are thinking something, they hold a belief that isn't necessarily true. So, will they judge me? They're wondering that kind of thing. Okay, so thank you very much. Big thanks to Mark.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody. You get to keep it. You can have it. So just really quick, the question I always get here is, how do we know the signs so that we know exactly which ingredients that we're dealing with here, right? Which ingredient needs to be adjusted? This is what you need to look for. You know it's a seeing problem when the person simply has inaccurate or incomplete information. Now, in the case with my mom, she somehow thought Croatia and Iran are somehow next door neighbors, which they were not. And even despite telling her so many times they're not that close, she refused to take it in. And that's because when someone is stuck at the emotional level, they will not hear or receive any number of facts. You can tell them the truest thing in the world and they just will not hear you. You know it's a thinking problem when they are stating an opinion or a belief as the truth. And it's something that you recognize isn't always true. Emotion, I think that's a little bit more obvious. You can see it in someone's facial expressions, their body language. They may start raising their voice, or in the case of my angry client, she starts to cry. That's very obvious. But the other thing with emotions is they'll start to use emotionally charged words, like her saying, "You're trying to make me feel small." Or if someone says, like, "That's really ridiculous," something that has an interpretive meaning to it. So, it's a big difference between saying the grass is green, right? Okay. And then the words, you have a words problem when you take the time to really look at what you just said. And did the words you use fully encapsulate the meaning of what you intended to convey? And a lot of times I do think that we miss the mark. We don't choose our words as carefully as we could. And you can see it in the reaction in their faces. You can see that moment of hesitation. You see a expression flash across their face. They didn't like what you just said. Yeah? This is what they need. It's kind of the opposite of everything. And I won't get into it. But I will give you a QR code at the end of this where you can listen to the podcast episodes I've made as a companion to this experience here for you, all right? Now, just to wrap this up, I want to take you back to the hospital. I'm standing in the hallway with my mom, and she's asked me, why did he stop talking to us? Why was he so angry at us? I'm locked and loaded. I'm ready to just blast them. And, they asked me, right? So I get to tell them. But I stopped and I reflect. This is already an unbearable situation for all of us. And when I really think about it, I know what to do. Despite all of the friction and the dysfunction, honestly, in our family over the last 10 to 15 years, what they need right now is a reminder of the deeper truth of their relationship with John. The fact that they loved him and he loved them back. I know some of you may have come here today thinking I would give you tips. That communication is something you have to win. You have to beat somebody with so that you can get what you want. And I'll agree, some of that, it does happen naturally as a byproduct. But for me, that is not the real purpose of any of this. See, the way I see it, communication is the greatest power available to you. It's a choice you can make in any instant. In the wrong hands, it's a weapon. You can cause some serious damage. You can really hurt somebody. You can ruin someone's life. But in the right hands, you can inspire, you can heal, you can forever change someone's life and how they see themselves. And you can help someone remember that they are loved. And for me, there is no greater gift. Thank you.
Okay, you ready for some questions?
Yeah.
I'm going to start off with some questions. If we can go back for a second to this example that you just gave with Mike with that silly dress that he still has on for some reason. So you like it, the outfit? No, of course not. The outfit is silly, not you. Did I do good now, or did I just
Yeah. No.
make a huge
Can I
mistake
just
with
say
this?
you are the best. You are the best. I don't think I've ever seen a better facilitator.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. But in a situation where you have your friend with you and your friend asks you if this outfit makes me look fat, in fact, that if that's your real friend and you're really, really close, you can be more, you can speak more freely than you would with somebody else, right? It's not always the same rules of engagement in terms of communication.
It is not always the same, you're right. But also because this is your close friend, you would know them well enough to know if they can handle the truth, right? It's just like that movie, you want the truth, you can't handle the truth. I think we all have friends where we know that if we tell them what we really think, they're not gonna like it. So you have to take into account the context of what you know about that person. And I believe you always wanna ask for permission. Like, do you want me to help you with your confidence right now? Is this what you're gonna go with no matter what? Or do you want me to really tell you?
Okay, let's go to the questions. Have you ever had a moment yourself where your confidence cracked in a high-stakes situation, and what did you learn from it?
Oh my God. Who is this person? You're reading my mind. So in September of last year, I actually spoke in front of the biggest crowd in Seattle. I spoke for the Seattle Sports Commission, and it was in front of 900, almost 1,000 people. And up until that point, I never had a moment of stage fright, but that one, I had a complete full-on panic attack. I was sweating. Most of that talk was like a black hole now. I can't even tell you what I said. It's like I got on stage and I spoke, and all I can say is that I was just like, there's no other option. You can't get out of this. You got to do this. You got to put on your big girl pants and actually do the work. And I think for the moment, it was really about surrendering. You have to just accept the situation and trust that it's going to be okay.
How do you spot a manipulator in communication?
Oh, that's hard. See, as someone who tends more towards literal communication, I tend to give people the benefit of the doubt even when they shouldn't have it. But I think with manipulation, you'll often see certain signs with them. Their actions will not align with their words. And it's really a question of intent. So you can sense when someone holds good intentions towards you. And so for manipulation to happen, it's really about them holding certain knowledge that you don't have and using that against you in some way. So whatever it is you don't know, or whether they're trying to maneuver you into giving them what they want. And so you have to ask yourself, what is the outcome for them?
Somebody says you have the best outfit of DK 2026.
Oh my God.
Just so you know, that title was held by Chris. Chris, sorry, you're out. Jewel outdid you today. Okay, you work with high-performing people. What's the most common insecurity they try to hide in meetings?
They are terrified to admit that they don't know something. I feel like we all go through this, even me. It's like if you ask me a question that I don't know, it has taken me a long time to just say, I don't know, but can I go look that up and let me get back to you? You've seen this. You see someone trying to bullshit their way through, and it just makes them look worse. And that is one of the key things I have to teach people to stop doing.
Is it more common with men or women?
I think with women, actually.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. That's surprising. Any tips on how to stay back and not let your emotions rule and use communication like a weapon?
I always say pause. And that's me as a recovering people pleaser. So for a long time, I compare myself to, it's like the light switch that's just permanently on. You ask me anything, and I don't stop and think, do I want this? Or does this even make sense for me? I would just say, okay, and I would try so hard to make this work. So for anything emotional, I would say, just take a pause and wait at least 5 to 10 minutes. And then step back and ask yourself, what am I seeing? And is there any chance that that's not actually true? what if that's not true? What if they're not out to get me?
What if we don't have 5 to 10 minutes? I thought you were going to say seconds.
Okay, well, that's fair. Let's say you're at work or you're in a situation like this, and your emotions are happening. This may not be a popular answer, but this is what I do. I like to name the emotion and just say, hey, I just need a minute because I'm feeling a little bit anxious. So is that all right with you? I'm a big advocate of asking for permission and just being transparent.
Okay, sounds fair enough. Okay. What's the best way to handle ghosting?
Ghosting in what situation? I feel like this is relationships, but are we talking about business?
This is like a huge therapy session.
I do have people telling me that my sessions feel like therapy. Okay, so let's say in the business context, ghosting. It happens. I think in the technology, the age we have with email, with texting and everything, there's somehow less connection and there's more distance happening. We're used to such instantaneous answers coming at us. So in business, my rule is you try to reach out to them 3 times and then you stop. Because if, like, what is meant for you will not miss you. I think you've heard that saying, right? Now, in a relationship scenario, someone, let's say you're on the dating apps and you think everything's going, you're vibing, and it was so great. You go out on a date and then they ghost you. Some of you may not like this, but for me, it's very important for my self-respect to say what is on my mind. And I like to tell people that, hey, I thought we had a good time, but I guess not on your end. It would have been nice if you gave me a response, but I understand sometimes that's not, available. But anyway, thanks again. So then I move on.
Was there a time when you said the wrong thing in a tense moment? How did you go back to it? I mean, how did you navigate it after?
I'm like, that was my example with my mom with Croatia. There have been so many wrong things said in a tense moment, like honestly. As a child and in the Asian culture, I was never taught to apologize. And I think the problem there is in the generation of my parents. Okay, so Koreans are a very hierarchical society. So your parents never apologize to you because their parents never apologize to them. But then what does that teach us? To never apologize. So when you say the wrong thing, when you hurt someone's feelings, one of the best things to do is actually apologize. Like, I'm sorry, like that came across wrong, that landed the wrong way, or I don't think I even answered your question, or sorry, that was my agenda, not yours. Apologizing is one of the fastest ways to diffuse a situation.
But you started this whole thing today with an apology.
Did I?
To all of us. Yes, you did. Because
What did I
you
say?
said, if I offend you,
Oh, yes.
I apologize. It wasn't on purpose.
Yes. I mean, that is something that
You learned.
yeah, I learned. Yeah.
Good. Okay, good.
Yeah.
Do you have any advice on, we're going deep, okay, any advice on how to deal with overthinking?
There are actually certain strategies. I would say if you haven't been to a therapist, you might want to try one. Now, sorry.
Obviously, we need one, right?
Sorry. That's my honest opinion. I do think that most of us would benefit from a therapist. If you don't like that idea, try working with a coach. But there are certain strategies in therapy, especially in CBT, cognitive behavioral therapy, that has a strong focus on what you're thinking. And so it's not just, we don't want you to focus just on what you're thinking, but why do you keep thinking those things? It's very much like how a river, over time, the river forms because water keeps traveling the same path. And overthinking is another one of those things. We tend to allow our thoughts to just run over. They run amok, and we don't think of our mind like a garden. We let whatever thought happen and just take over. So how I like to envision that is it's like weeds coming into your garden, and you need to be the gardener, and you need to make sure that those weeds don't keep popping up. So how do you address the thoughts? What are those thoughts? And then what are the situations that trigger that?
Jewel, the last thing that we're going to do on this stage is not going to be the question. It's going to be a statement. So you can read the first one. Sorry for your loss. Thank you for being vulnerable with us. Great talk. Thank you.
Thank you.
Dajte jedan veliki aplauz za Jewel Kim.